Okay, let's dive right into this. For thousands of years, there's been this profound mystery tucked away inside an ancient text, a question that gets right to the heart of our own consciousness, really, the heart of everything. It's like a cosmic detective story, and we're about to investigate the ultimate source of all power, starting with one single powerful question. So these are the opening lines of the Kina Upanishad, and Kina literally means by whom. It's asking a question that sounds simple, but it's incredibly deep. Who is actually running the show here? I mean, when your mind thinks a thought, when your body takes a breath, when your eyes see something, who or what is the real director behind the scenes? This is the central mystery we're going to try to unravel together.
Now, the Upanishad doesn't just ask the question and leave us hanging. It immediately points us toward an answer. But it's definitely not what you'd expect. It's this beautiful, poetic, and yeah, kind of mind-bending clue about the nature of our own senses and our mind.
So, what on earth does that mean? Well, it's suggesting that our senses, our eyes, our ears, our very mind, they're just instruments. Think about it. They're like cameras and microphones, but they aren't the ones actually doing the seeing or the hearing. There's a deeper, unseen operator, a fundamental consciousness that's powering the whole operation. Your eye is just the tool. The real seer is something else entirely. This, of course, leads to a really fascinating problem. If our senses are just tools, how can we possibly find the one who's using them? It's kind of like trying to see your own eyeball without using a mirror. The very instruments we rely on to understand the world are completely useless for finding its source. This line gets right to the heart of the paradox. You can't see it with your eyes, you can't describe it with words, and you can't even really think about it with your rational mind. The source of all our perception is, by its very nature, beyond the grasp of our tools of perception. So, are we stuck? Well, not quite. And there it is, the big reveal. What's so amazing about this is how it totally reframes the search. This ultimate reality, which they call Brahman, isn't some object out there for you to find. It's the very power of finding itself. It's the awareness by which you see, the consciousness by which you think. It's the eternal subject, it's never an object. Okay, I know, an abstract idea like this can be a little tough to wrap your head around. But the Upanishads gives us this fantastic story to make it crystal clear. You can think of it as an ancient fable that continues our cosmic detective story, and it's all about revealing the true source of power. All right, so the story goes like this. The gods win this huge victory, and they are feeling really good about themselves. They're patting each other on the back, boasting, "This victory was ours. Our might is supreme." But then, out of nowhere, this mysterious glowing spirit appears. None of them have any idea who or what it is. So first, they send Agni, the god of fire. He walks up and proudly says, "I can burn anything in the universe." The spirit just places a single dry blade of grass in front of him and says, "Okay, burn this." Agni unleashes all his power, and nothing. The grass is completely untouched. He goes back totally humbled. Next up is Vayu, the mighty god of wind. He boasts he can blow anything away. He gets the same test. Move that little blade of grass. He huffs and puffs with the force of a hurricane, and the grass doesn't even tremble. Finally, Indra, the king of the gods, decides to go see for himself. But just as he gets close, the spirit vanishes, and in its place stands Uma, the goddess of wisdom. And this is where Uma reveals the truth. That mysterious spirit, that was Brahman, the ultimate reality. And the victory the gods were so proud of, yeah, it wasn't their victory at all. It was Brahman's. Their power was never their own to begin with. It was just borrowed, channeled from this one single source. They were just instruments, just like our eyes and ears. So the story gives us this really powerful metaphor, showing Brahman as the true source of all power. But what is it exactly? Let's try and get a clearer definition. Basically, Brahman is the bedrock of existence. It's not a thing. It's the very fabric of everything. It's the single, unified consciousness that everything in the universe comes from. But the most crucial part is this. It's not something you can know like you know a fact in a textbook. You can only be it, because it's the eternal knower itself, never the thing that is known. Now, as you can imagine, thinkers have been grappling with how to describe this idea of oneness for centuries. This has led to some different perspectives, like the two we see here. One school, Advaita, says the idea that things are separate is just an illusion our minds create. There's really only one seamless reality. Another school, Vishishtadvaita, gives us this beautiful metaphor. Think of reality like a body. Your hand and your foot are distinct parts, right? But they're all inseparable from the single unified body. In this view, Brahman is the whole body. I absolutely love this modern take from the philosopher Alan Watts. He had this brilliant way of putting it. He said the universe is wiggly. It's this continuous, flowing, undivided process. We try to make sense of it by throwing a sort of conceptual net over it, which creates separate little bits we call things or events. But in reality, he says, nature isn't bitted. It's not chopped up. It's all just one big wiggle. So this is all fascinating philosophy, but the Kena Upanishad isn't just an intellectual exercise. It insists that this ultimate reality isn't just something to be talked about. It's something that can be experienced, realized, directly. But how do you know something that is, by its very definition, unknowable by the mind? And of course, that leads us to another one of these beautiful paradoxes. But the meaning here is just so profound. If you think you've grasped Brahman with your intellect, if you think you understand it, you've completely missed the point. You've just turned it into another object, another concept in your mind. The real knowing is a deeper kind of realization, an intuitive awakening, a letting go of the need to define everything. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If it's not about thinking harder, then what is it about? How do we go from the abstract idea to the actual experience? Well, the text gives us a surprisingly practical path. And the answer is incredibly grounded. The Upanishad teaches that this profound realization isn't achieved through some secret trick. It's actually built on a solid ethical foundation. It's about cultivating disciplined energy, or tapas, mastering self-control over your senses, or dhamma, engaging in dedicated work without getting hung up on the results, which is karma, and making truth, satya, your very home. This is just a timeless framework for living a life with deep awareness and purpose. And that leaves us with one final thought to ponder. The entire journey of this text brings us right back to ourselves. It suggests that the greatest mystery in the cosmos isn't somewhere out there in the stars, it's right here, behind your own eyes. If you are the ultimate knower, then maybe knowing yourself isn't about collecting facts about your personality. Maybe it's about realizing that silent, aware presence that's been doing the knowing all along.